There are lots of ways to wear a Rolex, traditional or non-traditional, classic or unconventional. So here are my 5 rules on how to wear one traditionally on the wrist. This first one should be obvious. You should wear it on the wrist. Unless you're actually wearing a dive suit or a space suit, it should be worn directly on the wrist. This is the sprezzatura way of wearing a watch. It's the Italian way of bending the rules in a nonchalant way. But unless you're Gianni Agnelli, it's unlikely to come across in a good way. More likely it will just make you look odd and bring more attention to yourself. The watch should be on the dorsal side of the wrist facing outward. Some people wear it on the inside, the idea being it's easier to check the time surreptitiously, needing less rotation of the wrist, and making it less obvious that you're conscious of the time. Also, it might be a way to protect the watch from damage, but I think it just ends up hiding the beauty of the Rolex, and again it looks a little odd. And if you're doing some activity that will likely lead to damage, I wouldn't be wearing a Rolex in the first place. I'm not a fan of wearing a smartwatch and a mechanical watch at the same time. It comes across as treating the Rolex as pure decoration and pure jewelry, and it just confirms that you're not using the Rolex as a tool. If you just wear the Rolex, at least you can maintain some pretense that you're using it to tell the time. And if you really need the functions of a smartwatch, I would just wear that on its own. These last 2 rules are getting into more opinion area, but whenever I see a watch on the right wrist, it just looks out of place. When I see someone's watch, I expect to see it on the left wrist. People who use their left hand for most things tend to wear the watch on the right to avoid it getting in the way or damaging it. But even though I'm left-handed, I still wear mine on the left wrist. I think it's more traditional on the left. I'm just mindful that it's there. I keep it under the cuff and it doesn't seem to get in the way of anything. I'll call this part the flat of the wrist, and this is where the watch head should traditionally sit, and it's where I like to wear it. The key landmark is the bony prominence of the ulna, which is found on the medial side of the wrist. The watch should sit just proximal to this. For this you need the right sizing and to keep it snug. If it's too loose, it will slide up and down. Some people like to wear it more distally on purpose, but that makes it wear more like a bracelet than a wristwatch. And it feels constricting to me and limits my range of motion, and I feel it pinching whenever I cock up the wrist. Also, it requires wearing the bracelet looser, so it tends to slide out of place up and down on my wrist. And with the bracelet being looser, I think there's more flexing, and I think it leads to more wear and tear. So I like to wear it squarely on the flat of the wrist with a snug fit, and it's extra convenient to wear one with an easy fit extension feature. So those are my 5 rules. Let me know in the comments what your rules are, and thanks for watching.